were expecting understated, maybe? Forget about it. This is the Donald, after all, making his grand appearance at the Republican National Convention.
He once told me that when he was in front of all these crowds, he felt like a rock star without a guitar.
The conventions highlighted a curious contradiction for Trump. Despite his lifelong cultivation of his celebrity status, his convention was notably bereft of Hollywood high wattage. Scott Baio is what passed for star power.
He basically said, I don't need A-list stars, I'm the A-list star, and that's good enough.
Ironically, while the Democratic Convention did have an endless parade of stars, it was a complete unknown who made the most impact, the Muslim father of a slain U.S. serviceman.
You have sacrificed nothing.
That criticism brought into play that key Trump trait. No slight is too small. No one is above or below attack, even a Gold Star father.
Well, that sounds, who wrote that? Did Hillary's scriptwriters write it?
He counterpunches twice as hard. Why does he do that?
He has this Darwinian sense of himself that only the hungriest and fiercest animal survives.
On the eve of the first presidential debate, Trump was bucking orthodoxy again. Compared to the days Clinton spent studying and practicing, he preferred to spend much of his time on the campaign trail, where he had often been bombastic.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Listen, he ran a completely unconventional campaign. He didn't follow any of the norms. He did it his way.
The improvisational style, with its pluses and perils, on full display at the first presidential debate. For the first 30 minutes, Trump is on his best behavior, sticking to his talking points.
We have to renegotiate our trade deals.
But as Hillary's constant barbs sink in,
So a man who can be provoked by a tweet should not have his fingers anywhere near the nuclear codes.
Trump reverts to form before our very eyes.
Donald supported the invasion of Iraq.
Wrong.
That is absolutely
Wrong.
Then came the huge October surprise, the Access Hollywood footage of Trump with correspondent Billy Bush.
Grab him by the I can do anything.
Trump's seemingly cavalier attitude about forcing himself on women ignited a firestorm of outrage. Less than a week later, there are new accusations.
A campaign under siege. A new allegation of sexual misconduct against Donald Trump.
The man whose children laud him as a family man suddenly under the microscope for allegations of sexual misconduct.
It wasn't the father-in-law that I knew, it wasn't the man that I knew.
And once again, the winner take all. Trump hangs tough, even while fellow Republicans are calling for him to quit.
So you just have to hunker down and focus and know that what you're doing is you're doing right by the people.
A scandal that might derail any other campaign instead prompts Trump to charge forward.
Every woman lied. Total fabrication. All of these liars will be sued after the election is over. I never, ever quit. I never give up. And in one way, that can be a little aggravating to people. In another way, I think it's a good trait.
But despite Trump's my way or the highway reputation, there are signs during his campaign that he is willing to adapt and change.
I was actually pleasantly surprised by how many times he did ask me for my opinion, how many times he asks his other senior staff for their opinion.
Trump's advisors fight to keep him on message, reportedly preventing him from tweeting, and finally making sure he stays disciplined at his campaign rallies. Just listen to what sounds like an inner monologue.
We've got to be nice and cool, nice and cool. No sidetracks, Donald. Nice and easy, nice.
With days to go until the election, Trump is exuding confidence on the stump.
And we are going to win the White House. Gonna win it. And we will make America great again.
But privately, his longtime friend says he had a more realistic view of the outcome.
You know, he didn't say to me, no, this is not going to happen for me. He just said, look, I'm competing every place, and I'm hopeful for the best.
The morning of the election, Trump is booed at his polling place, and the internet has a good laugh when he sneaks a peek at Melania's ballot. With polls and pundits uniformly predicting a Trump defeat, the Clinton campaign is sipping champagne on their plane, their candidate even signing a Newsweek magazine Madam President cover.
A big state for Donald Trump.
But then state after state starts falling to Trump.
I heard there was a moment where people started coming up to him saying, President Trump, and he was like, hold on, not till we know for sure.
Well, he's confident, but he's not an arrogant person, and becoming the President of the United States is a very humbling experience for anyone.
He is now going to be the 45th President of the United States.
Trump had seen something none of the politicians and pundits had seen, and at last, stunning victory in hand, he showed a side he's rarely shown, a capacity for graciousness.
We can work together and unify our great country.
Coming up, Mr. Trump goes to Washington. He may now be president-elect, but will he be presidential?